Hare Krishna, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this beautiful day of the Earth Day. It's a glorious day to glorify what we do daily, which is taking care of Mother Earth. So today, this event, which some of you are joining now, so thank you so much for being here with us. Feed the Earth. Yes, that's the event we are working with. And we're very grateful to all of you for joining us on this incredible day, a day where Mother Earth is really working towards helping humanity to sustain the culture of divinity on the planet. And in this day, what we wanted to do is to launch an activity which has been thought for many devotees for many decades. This is the first time we are working collectively with all the intelligence that has been gathered around this 50 years of attempts in cow protection agriculture. And now we are launching this initiative to teach how to live off the land. Today, we have the first event where a few of the teachers will share some of the important points why this is so important. Why are cows so important for the Vaishnavas and for the planet Earth? This event from the Ministry of Cow Protection and Agriculture is being launched as an attempt to assist our founder Acharya in his great desire to have devotees have a practical shape to a living style, which involves being closer to nature, his sixth purpose, right? And it's interesting, for someone who is working on the land as with a simple crop like banana, such an auspicious crop, it's always in our rituals, in our festivals. When you try to take away the bunches of banana, there are 12. It's very difficult. The bunch can be very tightly closed. But when you cut it in a certain way and you hold it from the back, it just comes off. It seems there was a superior intelligence in making the banana bunches so easily removed. So it's such a noble food for all humanity. Similarly, when you look at the cows, the cow produces an amazing quantity of milk, which is far greater than the calf would need. And that really leads to her symbiosis with humanity, where the cow can actually feed the Brahminical culture in this planet. And from that Brahminical culture, the whole civilization can be developed. And this is the idea that we need to now have a practical application to this very cherished desire of Srila Prabhupada. How in practice, in reality, can we teach this? And today we'll be looking at why it's important to do this from different angles. We have a keynote message from His Holiness Radhanath Swami, which we'll be playing very shortly. And right after, we have His Holiness Krishna Ksetra Swami telling us a little bit about the Vedas, cows, and ecology, and other topics which he's been researching as a minister for cow protection and agriculture in Europe. All the other speakers, they have been working closely with the Ministry of Cow Protection and Agriculture, and we're very grateful to all of you for giving your heart to this. Thank you very much. And let's hear from His Holiness Radhanath Swami now, what he has to say.
With Srila Prabhupada's great desire that we take care of cows and show the highest level of cow protection. For the pleasure of Krishna and to instruct the world. Prabhupada talked about cow protection. It wasn't just not killing them. It was making them happy. And Prabhupada said in this lecture, the barometer of the spiritual condition of a society can be determined by how happy the cows are. Srila Prabhupada said you should teach the world cow protection, how to love and honor Mother Cow, because that's Krishna's eternal pastime in Vrindavan.
We didn't hear you just now.
I'm sorry, I just said you're with us here. We welcome you. Sagatam. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Can you?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kalakantha Prabhu, for inviting me to say a few words to this occasion of Earth Day and Akshaya Tritiya, a very, we say, auspicious day for beginnings. I want to start with some statistics of the harsh reality of what we see today with respect to cows and the fact that they are throughout the world not being protected. It's estimated that there are today some 300 million cows being slaughtered annually. This comes to 800,000, that's 8 lakh cows per day being slaughtered, and that comes to some 34,000 cows per hour, and you can keep going to the minute at 567 cows, and that comes to some 9 to 10 cows per second whose lives are being taken as we speak. This is the reality, and this is a reality which our Srila Prabhupada was aware of, and which he wanted us to show the alternative to in cow protection, as Radhanath Swami said, not just protecting them from being killed, but making them happy. As Kalakantha said, I did some research, so much more research could be done from our Vedic literature tradition. And I thought just to mention ever so briefly what I found intriguing in terms of the network of identifications that are made in Vedic literature between various principles and the cow. For example, in the Rig Veda, there is an identification of cows with the rays of the morning sun, the idea being that as the sun rises in the morning, the rays are running out in the way that cows will run across the fields. And more broadly, there is an identification in the Rig Veda between cows and speech. Our power of speech, our power of communication is identified with cows. The divinity Vach is embodied in the cow. When we go to the Mahabharata, it is here that we find the notion that explicitly made that cows are our mother. Motherhood is embodied in the cow. And this becomes elaborated in a sense when we come to the Bhagavatam, where the cow is identified with earth, Mother Earth. And today is Earth Day, so especially this identification is important for us. But the essential connection to identification of cow with earth is extended and made meaningful in relation to human beings by recognition of the bull as identified with Dharma. The sort of abstract concept Dharma is embodied in the bull, as we all know from first canto of the Bhagavatam. And we can jump back for a moment, all the way back to the Atharva Veda, where the first expression, the earliest expression of the notion of all the devas being present in the body of the cow is expressed. It is expressed in other texts as well, but it goes back to the Atharva Veda. There's a collectivity of divinity which is embodied, which is present in the cow. Well, the Vedas, broadly speaking, we understand have a function of giving knowledge, and specifically the knowledge for bringing us, human beings, from darkness to light. And one way of saying this is bringing us from ecocentrism from egocentrism to ecocentrism, which is very germane to our topic of agriculture. We want to be ecocentric, but more basically than that, of course, as Srila Prabhupada would say repeatedly, we want to have Krishna in the center, and we understand this is how we bring Krishna to the center is by pleasing Krishna as Krishna gives example by serving those who are dear to him, especially the cows. Srila Prabhupada insisted that God consciousness or Krishna consciousness thrives where human beings are connected with the land. But how to be connected with the land, how to be connected with the earth, that is possible specifically where the earth manifests as cows, and where cows, we may want to say, have a voice in their care. I'll just say further that Srila Prabhupada was a realist. He was concerned about the reality of sustaining life for human beings, especially for devotees. And he recognized the limitations, the difficulties, the dangers of our modern life, which has become increasingly dependent on technologies, which are bound to lead us away from self-sustaining existence. So I think it's this direction that Prabhupada is giving that we are now taking opportunity to systematically make available for devotees, the vast majority of whom are not farmers. But the possibility of learning farming is, I think, the possibility that we are looking forward to manifesting in this venue. So this is what the Ministry for Cow Protection and Agriculture is, I think, doing, is launching courses for this purpose. So I'll just end with a short and pithy, and I'm sure for most of you known, quote from Srila Prabhupada when he says, Brahminical culture and cow protection are the basic principles for human civilization. So if we think, broadly speaking, what is Veda? Veda is knowledge. What is that knowledge? It is knowledge of how human civilization can thrive. And Prabhupada is pinpointing specifically what that is constituted of: Brahminical culture and cow protection. So this is our task to realize. Thank you, and Hare Krishna. I will have to apologize to say I'm going to have to leave the group early because I have another meeting coming up. But thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much, Ksetra Swami. It was wonderful hearing from you, and we look forward to hearing more about this as this series will be more developed and have more events until we finally launch the course in Kartik this year. So it was a pleasure here listening to you. And we have coming up with us someone who talks to the principles you've described. Antardhi Prabhu, he is in Hungary. As we speak, he's celebrating the Earth Day with a grazing festival. And he's going to tell us a little bit about ox and grains and why this is so important. George and Antardhi, are you there with us? Are you ready to come?
Yes, we are here.
Please, you have the words.
Okay, thank you so much to take part in this nice event. It's not so easy to speak after Krishna Ksetra Swami and Randana Swami, but I will try to say a few words. We have a very nice festival here in Krishna Valley. We have lots of guests, and they are celebrating the cows. They are celebrating the Earth Day, and they are celebrating the cows because on Hungary we have a tradition. After 2 days, we will have a Saint George Day, and as we know, Saint George is the second biggest protector of the cows. Of course, as we know, the first big protector of the cows and the cow herds is Krishna, but the second is Saint George. So in Hungary, people, they used to let the cows out on this day, the day of Saint George, and people, they are celebrating the cows on many places. And on this occasion, we are also making a very nice first grazing day. And there is a short topic what I want to mention. Srila Prabhupada said, you should live simple and simple life, high thinking. This is what Srila Prabhupada wants from us. And many times we see devotees, they want to they want to realize these things, and they decide, okay, we will live simple. And I have 3 + 1 reason when people, they start to living simple. But this 3 reason, according to the 3 modes of nature, is not really take you far. But the 4th reason is will you help you to keep for a long time. So these 3 reasons, in the mood of tamaguna, in the mood of ignorance, people start to living on the land and depending on the land out of fear. They are fear because they think, oh, the world will collapse soon, and we should find some solution for this collapsing, and therefore they decide, okay, we will move to countryside and we will cultivating land, we will keep cows, and on this way, even devotees sometimes this is their motivation, but this motivation, because it's not so high, is not able to keep for long. Because what if the world is not collapse? Of course, there is a good choice; it will collapse. But if not? And anyway, it's difficult to washing by hand, cultivating the land, sweating. It's not so easy. So this is the motivation in the tamaguna, in the ignorance. The motivation in the rajaguna, in the passion, is a little better. So what's the motivation in the passion? I will make big profit. I will make a big profit from the land cultivation and keeping cows and working oxen. And I never see any time before someone who is become rich. Of course, Nanda Maharaj is he become rich, but it was 5,000 years ago. But in this century, I not see anyone who who is become rich by cultivating the land and keeping oxen. And if you are successful in this, please inform me. It's very important for me. I make researching how to maintain myself, and how can I make a model that you can maintain yourself by only by depending on the field and the oxen. So please inform me if you become rich. There is another level, the mood of goodness in the sattva gun. This motivation is much more higher. So in the mood of goodness, people, they think, okay, I will move to countryside, I will cultivating land because it's a healthy life, it's a peaceful life. I will give organic food, and I can practice spiritual life nicely. And yes, this is a very nice motivation, much more higher, like the first two, but still have some problem. The problem is sometimes living in the mood of goodness is boring. Sometimes boring to eat always organic, healthy foods. So sometimes you will think, oh, why not eat ice cream or some, I don't know, pizza or something. So maybe even if you are in the mood of goodness and you are enjoying this kind of lifestyle, still maybe sometime you think, oh, it's not for me, I give up. But the fourth reason, the transcendental reason why we should start cultivating land and working with oxen, that we should try to please Srila Prabhupada and try to please Sri Krishna. And if we focusing on their desire, what they want from us, then we can keep with this lifestyle for long time. So this is my real cause, my real reason. Yeah. And this is my real cause, my real desire to make my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, satisfied. And if the world will collapse or not collapse. If it is, if I become rich, or I don't will become rich. If sometimes it's very peaceful, sometimes it's not so peaceful, but still I'm want to satisfying my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, and this is how I want to live. And if you want to live peaceful, you should try like this. Thank you very much to hear me, and now I want to ask Shyamasundara Prabhu to continue. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antardhi Prabhu. It's a pleasure to have you. And Antardhi Prabhu will be teaching us ox and agriculture, no tillage, and different aspects of research he's been doing in Hungary. We look forward to that. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much, and congratulations for the event. Shyamasundara Prabhu now is coming all the way from the UK. Some of you may know him, some of you may not know him. So please, Shyamasundara Prabhu, introduce yourself, and the word is yours.
Hare Krishna Bruce. I have been involved with cow protection since 1992, and I kind of gravitate more towards, they could say, practical manifestations of it. I'm currently working with a number of countries and farms in Europe to try and reactivate their cow protection projects. I'm just going to share can you all get this? Let's get this. So this is what we're looking at today, a dairy plan. And when you start thinking about manifesting cow protection in a practical sense, then there's a number of questions that come up immediately. Certain things you have to have a understanding about. And land, this is, you have to have a certain amount of land for your cows. Either you own the land or someone else's crops you're getting from the land, but land is essential. Cows live on the earth. Also people. If you want to have cows, you have to someone to look after the people. And then you've got buildings, the kind of buildings you need. And you also decide, well, what kind of cows do I want? And what can those cows bring to the table, so to speak? And then how does it work? What kind of economic framework does it work under? And then there's whole issues about milk production. So these are just natural questions that come up. So if you don't make a plan, then you don't have a plan, and then you won't be able to manifest cow protection in a practical sense. So land is a very important consideration, and it's about getting a balance correct. Just for example, roughly speaking, let's say, for example, you can buy an acre of land for $10,000, 10,000 pounds, whatever. You could rent that same land for 100 years for the same amount of money. So there's a big balance between capital investment in buying land and then land that you rent. But there's also the issue that you can also buy the crops from someone else's land to help your Goshala. So this is a very important consideration. How much land do you buy? How much land do you rent? And how much of people's other people's land of their crops that you take? So what kind of balance do you want? We want it that we have security. So it would seem that a certain amount of land that you own is very important, but that means then you've got huge capital outlays. Whereas if you can rent land, you can progress faster, but then you always have the specter, you could say, that land may be taken from you by the end of the tenancy or the end of the agreement. And then you could also buy a certain amount of crops in. For example, some of our bigger Goshalas, most of their crops they buy in. So again, land. How much do you own? How much do you rent? And how much other people's crops do you use? Very important consideration to take into account. Next thing is people. People are vitally important for any Goshala. If you don't take care of the people, then you don't have people to take care of the cows. And these little cluster of pictures is that famous verse, Griha Kshetra Sutta Aptavriter. That people have great need. They need a home. Home has a cost to buy, to rent, to maintain. Then they need some activity. A person has to have something that brings in income to the family, enough income that they can look after their children and the schooling of their children and the education of the children. They want to have a format where they can have some social life. They have to be able to interact with people, flying, whatever, and they have to be able to accumulate assets. So people are a very important factor to look after your cows. If you don't protect the cow protectors, then you don't have cow protection. And in consideration the cost, probably speaking, when you calculate the cost of your Goshala, about 70% of your costs will be people related. So it's very important to have a full understanding that people cost money, and volunteers is also volunteers is also very important. But with volunteers, you get an instability. They may be here today, they may be not here tomorrow. So a certain amount of core people that you need, you have to maintain them in some way or other. That means there's a whole cost factor to cow protection. Breed choice, very important. What kind of breeds do you have? For example, there's a vast difference between, you could say the Western types, if I may use that name, they can give 10,000 liters of milk from a calf. Whereas the figures we have for Zebu types is 2,000 and a hybrid is 5,000. Interestingly enough, Srila Prabhupada was talking about a hybrid breed for Mayapur. He said, why don't you get Western types and breed them with the Indian types? And that way you get good milk yield and a good weather tolerance. So again, breed choice is very important. It cannot just be a sentimental thing, oh, it's a cow. No, we want good milk-laden cows, docility, good working bulls, a good dual purpose type of animal. Again, very important consideration. And then where the cow is going to live. They need all kinds of facilities, milking parlor, where you're going to milk the cows, how you're going to milk the cows, where the milk will be stored. In any Western setting, that milk has to be cooled down to 6 degrees or less and stored in refrigeration. You need pens for your cows, pens for the calves, pens for the milking cows, pens for the oxen, breeding bulls, special secure breeding bull pens. How are you going to process the milk? Dairy kitchen, what kind of equipment are you going to have? Administration areas, where are you going to take care of all the paperwork and those things? Presentation and visitor areas. We don't just have cowshed, we have presentation areas. We need to factor in where the visitors will come, how their needs will be taken care of. Ox yoking equipment, yokes, plows, carts, all that kind of stuff. An area to yoke your oxen safely that people can see. Where are you going to store your manure? Where are you going to store your grain and fodder? Where are you going to go to the toilet and wash your hands, and a farm shop? You got to factor in these things into your dairy plan. Budgeting. Goraksha is situated in the dharma of the Vaishyas. So it's about productivity, it's about success, it's about, money, basically. So it's about budgeting. And to make a plan, you got to think, well, where are we going to be in 15 years? The average life of a cow is about 15 years. You got to plan that way ahead with your breeding program. So this is a live budget, and you have to calculate money coming in, money going out, and it has to work financially. Otherwise, how is the Goshala going to be supported? Milk production. We have phenomena in our society that our cows give longer lactations, average 4 years. We have to decide how much milk the cow will get, calf will get, how much for human beings, and what kind of relationship is that? We kind of find between the Western and India and Eastern systems, between 2 and 4 weeks, the calf gets full access, all the surplus is taken by humans. Then after that, there's a regulated weaning that the calf gets access to the mother at milking time. They get 1 or 2 teats, depending on the system. And then at some point, they have to be fully weaned. And if a cow is left after 6 months, there can be unwanted or unplanned for pregnancy either way. And so you calculate the calf gets about 9,900 liters, and the rest is for humans. So this is an important thing to understand this relationship. It's also an important thing to tell people this is the natural scenario. And then we have another scenario of virgin milkers, cows that will give milk without even having a calf, spontaneous milkers. So these are all factors to put into your milk production calculations. And then finally, as we had, what are you going to do with the oxen? You may have oxen, but unless you have an ox worker, you may have oxen that are not worked. And again, your ox worker needs to take care of his family needs. He has to have his needs met. So if you want your oxen to work, you've got to take care of the ox worker, which means then the oxen have to work in some kind of economic framework. What are you willing to pay your ox worker to do to get your oxen working? So these are all kind of very natural, progressive thoughts that you have to consider in any kind of plan. So this is a kind of summary of the general topics, but the courses will gradually pull out the details of how to manifest a dairy plan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shyamasundara Prabhu. This is a wonderful presentation, and you have been working so consistently and in a very, how can I put it, determined way, which is wonderful to hear and see all the experience coming out. And I would like to tell everybody that Shyamasundara Prabhu, he took the initiative to understand that one of the key points is that there was not enough managers in the goshalas, in the farms, to do this, equipped with knowledge. Why do we do this? What is the ethical purpose of this? And that initiative was born in New Vrindavan in a conference that he traveled with us. And from that, we've been writing the course, and now we're coming to the finalized state where we can show the world that when you take care of cows in a way which is loving and in a way which is completely in harmony with nature and with the creator, that's a very noble symbiosis between the cow and the human civilization. On that note, we have a presenter which has been researching a lot about the relationship between a certain amino acid and intelligence. And Purushottama Ksetra Prabhu, are you here with us? I saw you a minute ago.
Hare Krishna,
Is he
Prabhu.
there? Yes, you're there. Wonderful to hear your voice.
Can you see
So,
me now?
Purushottama Ksetra
Can
Prabhu,
you
please
see me now?
introduce yourself, and the word is yours. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. This is very nice. We have so many people here today. So I've been working with scientific aspect of cow protection since maybe 2014. So I came across one very interesting aspect of milk, which I'd like to share with you. It's a rather technical presentation, but it's something that most of us, I'm sure, have never heard. So what I'm going to do is run through this and we'll go from there. So let's see. I need to share this screen. Can we do that? It says host disabled participant screen sharing. Is it possible to share my screen, Kalakantha Prabhu?
Yes, you are co-host now, Prabhu. You can just try again and share your screen.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So okay. So the protection of cows maintains the most miraculous form of food, milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain for understanding the higher aims of life. After nice grasses have been given to the cows, the sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja may immediately begin. This sacrifice will very much satisfy me. So listen carefully here. You're going to hear some stuff today you've never heard. Everything is based on detailed scientific and Shastric references, though I'm not going to provide them. Advanced cognitive function, such as that necessary to understand and implement Shastric instruction, takes place primarily in the gray matter of the prefrontal cortex of the brain. Brain cell membranes are composed primarily of what are known to biochemists in cholesterol. The relative amount of each of these components shifts rapidly depending on the availability of DHA. Under optimal conditions, roughly 30 to 40% of the cerebral cortex is composed of DHA. This is far in excess of any other cells in the human body. Thus, DHA is an essential nutrient for advanced cognitive function. It must be acquired in diet, except in cases of extreme dietary deprivation, when the body can adjust to make this crucial molecule. Efficient neuron-to-neuron signal transmission, that is clear thinking, depends on sufficient DHA in the neuronal cell membrane structure. The body automatically substitutes cholesterol for DHA to maintain basic membrane integrity when adequate DHA is not available in the diet. Excess cholesterol slows signal transmission, thereby clouding our thinking when it is substituted for DHA in these cell membranes. Most DHA is produced during the process of photosynthesis. In the marine environment, algae produce DHA that bioconcentrates as it moves up the aquatic food chain. In the land-based food chain, the tips of leaves on healthy plants actively growing in rich, microbially diverse soil produce DHA. As herbivores, cows harvest this DHA. They thrive on their natural diet, personally harvesting fresh plants on pasture. The DHA in plants can be passed into the body and milk of the cow if it is present in sufficient quantity in their diet. A cow's digestive system is designed to extract adequate nutrition from a wide range of plant material not digestible by humans. Cows on healthy pasture are bioconcentrators of the DHA they collect from pasture plants. As needed for survival, the cow's digestive system will adjust to accommodate a wide variety of herbivorous material. An artificial chopped chow for cows diet, the standard for industrial milking cows, is composed of a mixture of grains, preserved processed grasses, and nutritional supplements, with limited to no active. This industrial cow's diet is virtually devoid of DHA. The digestive system of a cow surviving on such an unnatural diet destroys any DHA which may be present in their food. Conversely, if cows are given free access to lush pasture growing in healthy soil, supporting a wide variety of living plants, they will preferentially select those vigorously growing at the time. Many of the living plants in this pasture-based diet will contain DHA in sufficient quantity to cause the microbial variety in the rumen to readjust to accommodate this normal cow's diet. This diet lets the DHA in these plants escape destruction in the rumen, so it can be incorporated into cow's milk. This degree of attention to the health of the cow's pasture is simply not available to an industrial farmer. Their guiding mentality is to squeeze every last drop of milk from the cow. The industrial farmer considers the cow just one cog in their cash cow milk production process. When a cog wears out, it is, by their arrangement, removed from the production line and replaced with a new one. The required level of detailed, intimate knowledge of the natural environment, including the quality of each tract of land, the climate, the local plant, insect, bird, and animal life, the different soils, their resident microorganisms, and the unique nature of each particular cow is only perceptible to the smallholding farmer, for whom it is imperative to have the time, interest, and inclination to notice and support all the minute details of their local ecosystem. The very nature of farming, with this attentive, thoughtful, caring attitude to cow care and the land, calls for a community of individuals all cooperating together to help the farmer feed the cows these nice grasses. So, one question every farmer must ask himself then is, the forest favorable for the animals, the cows? The forest must be full of water, grass, and other plants. The social and economic conditions necessary for such comprehensive stewardship of the ecosystem are naturally, though not exclusively, found in sattvic rural village communities practicing bhakti yoga. One can take the flesh of a pastured cow, develop the cells of the prefrontal cortex utilizing the DHA found therein, and yet, due to the karmic reactions of this asuric choice, remain bewildered by the material energy. Those accepting milk from cows properly cared for by thoughtful Vaishnavas and offered in sacrifice to the deities under the guidance of Brahmanas will benefit both materially and spiritually. Now we understand why cows should be offered grasses, especially soft, fragrant grasses, which are used to feed the cows so they would be strong and healthy and give nice milk. Very crude, unsophisticated, but intense love for Krishna. That is Vrindavan. We want to introduce. This farm project means intense love for Krishna. This civilization we want to introduce. So there we go.
Thank you, Purushottama Ksetra Prabhu. That was a very interesting and full of references in Shastra and science. And we're very grateful to you for being researching this very thoroughly and presenting. And this is something we'd like to include in the course, which you want to launch. And that's a wonderful contribution you've been doing. We're very grateful to you and for all the services you've been doing. And we have someone from all the way from Vrindavan, as you spoke about Vrindavan. He's been there for, well, many years, since 2005, taking care of cows. And he's going to share with us some aspects of engaging the oxen in sacred activities too, which is another aspect of it. Yes, we have with here Sanak Sanatana Prabhu, welcome. Please introduce yourself and the word is yours.
Hare Krishna, Sanak Sanatana. I'm audible?
Yes.
So, oxen to be used in service. First of all, I spent 10 years on Padayatra. So Srila Prabhupada started the Padayatra originally. It was a Narada Muni traveling Sankirtan party. It went from Vrindavan to Mayapur and then to Bhubaneswar. And later on, in 84, it was restarted at the Padayatra. It was going for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 500th birth anniversary from Dwarka to Kanyakumari to Mayapur. And it is still on the road since 84, uninterrupted. And we have started many more of such Padayatras. I think in India, we're almost having 10 Padayatras. So the Padayatra is a definite, Padayatra India has 5 oxen. We have 2 bullock carts and 1 spare oxen in the back. So 5 bullocks are engaged. And Srila Prabhupada basically wanted that every farm is having a Padayatra. And even in the West, where this type of Padayatra living is not so easy, we have gone great success with Padayatras. First of all, people who normally would think we are sect or something, but when we come with our bullock cart into a village, into a town, everyone gives it attention. And one of the biggest point of attention are the oxen. People, there may be add an ox half an hour ago, but when they see an ox in hand and they pet an ox and they see the oxes engaging in service, they're very much attracted to that. And it's a great way to bring forward Krishna consciousness to the people in a very natural way. It's a very good way to introduce animals, particularly the oxen, to people in general and preach vegetarianism. So that is one thing. And in that regard, I would like to say, we all, when we read Bhagavatam and when we read the Vedic history, we always hear that the king was having a Goshala. And then when I would ask you, hey, why the king had a Goshala? You would think because he needs ghee for his cooking and he eats paneer sabji and he drinks milk. But that is actually, Hare Krishna, somebody has a sound on. So that is actually not the case. The actual case is because the king needed a good breed of cows and particularly bullocks so that his farmers could get them from him, and then they could transport the goods from the field to the town and to the king, and that they could plow their fields very happily. And so this is the actual purpose. The bulls are the actual, in those days were actually the wells. I came in India in '89 and I was on Padayatra for 10 years, and usually the farmer's wealth was measured of how many pairs of oxen he had, not how many cows he was milking. And we even see still now in the state of Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu, in the southern states, the people are actually using the bulls for farming. That is a very, very important aspect of their life, that they have a good pair of bullocks, because without that, it is almost impossible for them to earn their livelihood. So and another thing, what we're doing here in Vrindavan is we're having the Gomata products. I started that maybe in 2006 and it is still running. And we have more than 30 products out. And we're selling about, I don't know, maybe almost 10 lakh rupees worth of products. That's 10 lakh is like 1 million rupees every month of products in an average. And from that, we're deriving 300 to 400,000 rupees profit. That covers 1/3 of our Goshala expenditure. So this is definitely also something people could look into, and we're very much open if anyone wants to come by and learn something about how to do that. We're very happy to help you and to take care of you for a month or two. And that's about it. I wanted to emphasize on that Padayatra, and then how important it is to actually also take care of the bullocks. And I think next is Simheswara Prabhu. If he wants, he can tell a little bit how our Gomata products actually have helped him. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Sanak Sanatana Prabhu, thank you so much. Sanak Sanatana Prabhu forgot to say he is a co-minister for India, and he's been doing a lot of work in India for many years with the Padayatra, with the Kumbh Mela, and with the cows. So we're very grateful, and he's part of the course. He just recorded some sessions in Mayapur, and more will come now. Simheswara Prabhu will tell us something about congregation. Am I right? Thank you so much. Are you there with us, Simheswara Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, yes, I am.
So please introduce yourself, and the word is yours.
Hare Krishna. So I am here. My name is Simheswara Das, a servant, and I'm at this farm, which is about 1 and a half or 1 hour 45 minutes from the Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. And it's called New Godruma Dam. Not so many devotees, but we are working towards building up community-supported agriculture, the congregation, and it's how to engage the community in different ways in having an affinity and relationship with the farm. So this is one way to get together a big number of people to be involved to support a farm. And I think everybody agrees that our farms are all needing money, manpower, and time. All these three things are very much needed. And all these three things, due to the current, modern city day life, which people have been going through for a long time, it's not easy to get so many people moving into the farm. So many of us, out of the necessity, we have taken up this. The Prabhu was in the first second talk, and Prabhu was mentioning the different ways one is interested to do the farm. One is the ignorance, passion, goodness. But there is also one other way, it's necessity. It's just a necessity. We have to do it. Somebody is running it, and nobody else to take it up, and then someone has to go in. You can call it safe. You can call it a necessity. It's basically Srila Prabhupada wanted, so we have to do it. One of the reasons that inspired me is because if we look at these purposes of ISKCON, that the sixth purpose, it says, is to bring members closer together for the purpose of teaching a simple and more natural way of life. Now we have different people speaking about, Hinduism, a way of life, and even the Islam, they say it's a way of life. Now, we have a question, can ISKCON actually say we are a way of life? Can we actually say this? Now, Srila Prabhupada just didn't want a way of life. He wanted a simple and more natural way of life. Now, what to speak of a natural way of life, even a way of life? Can we say, can ISKCON members say we are practicing a way of life? I think it's very difficult to say that. Why? We go back to the Bhagavad Gita, 9:26. Patram Push, a simple verse, a verse that's very basic for all of us, but a verse that actually takes us back to a way of life. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Taraham Bhakti Uparitam Asnami Prayatanmana. It's 2 times Bhakti is mentioned. And Krishna is Prabhupada's translation say, if you can offer me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or what, I will accept it if you offer it with devotion. I will accept. Now, how many members of ISKCON in the world are actually doing this? What are they actually offering Krishna? Are they really offering a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water? Of course, they're offering many kilograms, tons. But what is the quality of the leaf, the flower, the fruit, and vegetable? So the Prabhu was saying that the goodness is inorganic. But I think if we refer to Prithu Maharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam, when Mother Earth did not provide anything due to the previous heinous king, Prithu Maharaj didn't get his scientists and professors, assemble them together, and he didn't say, okay, let's start the NPK factories. Neither did he say, let's start the organic factories. No, that was not the formula. Prithu Maharaj basically wanted Mother Earth to function. Today being Mother Earth Day, he wanted Mother Earth to give it naturally. So currently, I'm sure at least in Malaysia, I'm saying around the world, people, the devotees, why should we say people, devotees buy products from the supermarket, which has poisons in it, whether it's a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, and we are offering it to the deities, and we are offering it to the devotees, and we are offering flowers, a bouquet of pesticides, and to speakers who are sitting in the Vyasa sun, and they smell these flowers. So this way of life is not really what we should promote. We are offering practically poisons to our deities. So for the congregation, one of the things is how this cows and land is good for the congregation. So for the congregation, the farm is very important, because the farm can support the natural produce from the land and the cows. What is the basis of Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam? How can you get a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water? You can never get it unless you have cows and land. That is natural way. Of course, the others will produce the same result, a leaf, a flower, fruit, but what's the process is very raksha, a method of people who are very demoniac principles. With poisons, you get the end result, but that food is not to be offered. So a land, cows is very much needed for the congregation, for the devotees, for the temples, so that they can actually offer what Krishna wanted. Non-poisonous stuff. And what happened? Putana was the first one. She put poison into the milk, cover it, and then giving it. So the same thing is happening now. Mother Earth is withdrawing in the current age. Mother Earth is withdrawn everything, and so people are having, it's poisons everywhere. All the dairy industry, there is poisons in the milk, in the vegetables, everywhere. So ISKCON has got a strong role to play in this, the congregation of ISKCON, to show a way of life. It's very important. And I was just reflecting on this. If we do not show a way of life, then many people will come to our society. They will accept that Krishna is God. They will accept the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, but they may not be members of the movement, ISKCONians. For a way of life, they will practice something else. They may still be accepting all this, but we'll lose them. They will become members of other societies. I think we have already lost millions to many societies like this, who are practicing a way of life that are following some of these important aspects of food that is without poison and things like that. So they are all supposed to be members of ISKCON. So like this, so the congregation is very much needed to support farms, and though they may not be living, there are many things that congregations can do, and many things that a farm without manpower can also do to connect it and to create an interest by which they would come and support the farms. And gradually, when they practice, when they do this, then they know a farm is very important. And gradually, we have a hope that they can also move into the farm gradually as they retirement plan, and things like that. So like this, the farm we see is very important. We make our farm products. We've just started, thanks to Sanatana Prabhu, who visited Malaysia, and he inspired me to start farm products. Now, earlier I did some different type of products, like products of food, like we have jackfruit, we have coconut. So I made dehydrated jackfruit, and even made a sabji, which I did on retort, and you can keep it for a year. But these are very technical things. I found that it was not being able, the persons who were in the farm couldn't really do it. So I moved into something which is very simple, just sell the soil. just sell the cow dung. Just make nice organic fertilizers for the congregation and give this as gifts. So we made incense. We have made like incense like this. We have we make varati. We make dry cow dung powder. We just pack it and we do organic from cow dung. So like this, we are doing some products and we attract the congregation to come on weekends. So today a busload of people came, even it's not for the Earth Day or Akshaya Tritiya for us is tomorrow. And we have people coming on weekends to come and they do Go Puja. They serve cows by feeding them grass, circumambulating them, massaging them. And this culture I'm trying to bring by which cows are really mothers, Go Mata, the meaning of Go Mata to be emphasized, by which they are not just to be left ignored and they can be happy. We don't kill them and let them just live. That's not really what we want to do. We want to go into detail why cow being our mother. So with that, I don't want to take more time, and I've quite a lot, but we will take it in the course and speak about this more. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Simheswara Prabhu has been a great personality in Malaysia. He runs 11 Ratha Yatras, and he's really engaged the congregation and the farm in many ways. So we'll be looking forward more to that. We're coming to a close now to our program, and the course is being developed and recorded by different experts, as many of you have seen. We have on the chat a form of interest. So if you're interested, please, there's a link tree there to the ministry where not only you can see all the things we've done. For example, you can find any Goshala of ISKCON with one click. You can donate to the cows. Today is an important day, Akshaya Tritiya. If you donate to the cows, you get many benefits for doing that today. And there is a form. If you're interested, you can do that. We'll end with a little video which explains the trajectory, how this started many years ago, and then you see that the ministry has gone through different stages, and now in the third cycle, which is the education stage. So we'll end on this sweet note. I saw from the chat that someone is asking how to use cow dung powder, Manish Patel. Well, we'll be in touch with you. Send us a message in the form. We'll reply to you and give you more information how to do different things with the land and with the cows on this auspicious day. So I'll end here by saying thank you to all of you immensely. It was a pleasure to have all of you here. You can see that there's so many experts within our society, and they're getting ready and very happy to share with all of us. So we'll end with this small video which shows a little bit the trajectory of this. Okay, so here I'll be in the farm where this all started about 30 years ago. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Hare Krishna. My name is Kalakantha Das. I came here to this project 28 years ago. And at that time, when I came here, I was really searching for a better system to maintain the human species in this planet. And it was really exciting. And somehow, in 2015, there I was in front of the governing body commission. And I told them at that time that actually we young members who had just joined had a taste for agriculture. We really had a deep love, but it was very hard to perceive that the leadership would actually have an interest in this side of the mission. Most important, how you can become a little independent from the system so that you can actually live a very sound spiritual life. That was a major message of our founder Acharya. And to do that, you really need to know how to produce abundance and wealth from the earth. If you protect the cows will then sustain the Brahminical culture, which will then develop a civilized society or civilization. We traveled extensively. Most of the farms were not registered. Nobody had any information who they were or how many cows were in that farm. So the first task was to actually register, to capture all this information and put on a website, which today anybody can see all the ISKCON projects in one little click. We adopted a technology which had started in Europe. It was called the Farm Conference Cycle. Bring experts and bring devotees who were working with farms together. And this course, which we're launching, Feed the Earth, it's a course where you can understand how to live with nature. Which are the farming systems of abundance? How do you build community design? And moreover, what are the different steps to be taken by the leadership and by the farmers themselves? Feed the Earth is a course to teach you how to live in harmony with nature, with God. We can now become a production unit which teaches the world how to do it. So you could actually say, changing the world one farm at a time. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Hare Krishna everyone. It was a pleasure having all of you here. And this is the first, and we'll have many more sessions. Maybe once a month, we'll get in touch with all of you. Please write to us if you have any doubts. We're here to assist and serve you. Hare Krishna. It was a pleasure again. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Wishing sure you may end the meeting now.